What's up? Tyler from Plugged On. I'm here with another review. This time I'm going to talk about the new album from Code Orange titled Underneath. This is the follow-up to 2017's Forever. And if you don't know Code Orange, they are a hardcore slash metal band slash whatever the fuck you want to call it. And they kind of have been blowing up, I would say, especially since when Forever came out. And I remember the year of 2017, I got many comments on many different videos of, Tyler, you should listen to Code Orange. Tyler, you should listen to Code Orange. It's fucking awesome. And I listened to it. I'm like, I just don't get it. I don't know. Just something wasn't clicking with me. And through the years, I kept trying because everybody's talking about this band. I'm like, something's got to be there. And then one day, it did kind of click for me. And I went, okay, I can understand why people really dig this. And then, to me, the band, then I got further into bands like Knocked Loose, for example, that are just kind of refreshing bands because they're just raw. They're fucking in your face. They're heavy as shit. And they kind of have an interesting flow to all their albums that feel refreshing. And I went, okay, I can understand why Forever is an album that people are really digging. And to me, I do like that album. It has grown on me a lot. So looking forward to new music from Code Orange, I was just curious, what are they going to do next? And what does the next album sound like? And I, for one, think that this is a good album, and I like it a lot. There's a lot of tracks on here, and I think kind of going in an interesting way, interesting direction, in that, I feel like they have the heaviness still. That is not gone. There are several tracks on here that just have a lot of fucking really in-your-face sections, but I also feel like from a guitar tone standpoint, it's in production standpoint, it's not as beefy, while still heavy. Don't take that the wrong way. It just doesn't feel as beefy. And then also, the songs are a little bit more, I guess catchy. Catchier might not be the right word. A little bit more straightforward. Even that might not be the right thing. And then also, Reba is singing a lot more on this album, so there's a lot more clean vocals, but I don't think any of that diminishes the fact that this is an album that I enjoy a lot. Starting off with the second single they put out, Swallowing the Rabbit Hole, there's some really interesting guitar work that goes into that, and especially the build up of the chorus and everything, and swallowing the rabbit hole, and it's like there's some really great fucking crushing guitar work that comes after that, and some weirdness going on with some kind of harmonics. I'm like, okay, this is interesting. It's got a really great hook to it. And also, getting straight to the title track, which closes the album. When that first released, I personally could not stop listening to it, only because I absolutely adore that chorus. I think that is one of the catchiest things that I have heard of all of 2020. And I just think I love Reba's voice. Of course, Bleeding into Blur is one of the most popular tracks off of Forever, and I thought that was just an awesome fucking song, and it still is. And so I feel like having more of Reba's vocals showcased on here is awesome. And I think, they use it in interesting ways. It's not just, hey, every fucking chorus has to be clean vocals, this or that. It's not in a typical metalcore fashion that you might hear a lot of those sort of things. But I feel like they use it where it's needed. And, I think Who I Am is an interesting track with her vocals. You and You Alone's another one. But then, there's tracks on here that are heavy. I think In Fear is another one that's really fucking great from a heaviness standpoint. Last One's Left is another one that I really enjoyed, and I think has some chunky stuff. Cold Metal Place is another one. But then another thing I feel like this album does is it just does have a different atmosphere than Forever, which I like that they're kind of stretching spreading their wings a little bit and stretching out who they are as musicians. And, you take this song Sulfur Surrounding, which is a very beautiful more melodic song. And Reba's vocals on that song are just amazing. And one of my favorite, my favorite part of that song is when the final chorus starts coming back, and it's just kind of some acoustic like guitar and her vocals going. I'm like, yes, this is great. But then what's also cool is that, they're not afraid to throw in the heavy sections and taking Underneath or Sulfur Surrounding that might have more appeal to them, to other people that don't really want the in-your-face screaming all the time. They still bring in some heaviness that I think works most of the time, and it's some nice transitions to those parts, especially in the title track. And I personally, just like it a lot. And then, there's just some interesting sounding vocals on here that Code Orange hasn't really had before, in my opinion, with, such as Who I Am. The Easy Way is another one. And just sounding different. Now, they're all over the place in a lot of interviews saying how, this is the best fucking thing in the world, and metal is boring all the time. And I'm like, okay, I don't think this band is the best fucking thing to ever happen to music, or to heavy music, period. But are they a refreshing band in ways? Yeah, and are they a great band to listen to, and an exciting young band that has a pretty cool, hopefully, future in front of them? Yeah. I do think that. I personally just don't think they're the best thing in the fucking world, like they kind of tout themselves sometimes, and then others think. But I think there's some great jams on here. This is definitely one of my, it's not my album of the year right now. I mean, who knows? You never know. Could grow into that. But it is one of my favorites of the year, I think, so far. As we're halfway through March. Yeah, there's some good tracks on here. Some good bangers. Let me know what you think of Underneath from Code Orange. Thanks for watching. See you later.